Conductometric titrations. Conductometric titrations. So here, what is meant by conductometric titrations? So in this titration, so by using the conductance values of the solution, we can easily find out the what is the neutralization points of the solutions. So here, what is the principle? The conductometric titration is a volumetric method. It is based on the measurement of the conductance of the solution during the titration. So in the normal titrations, we know by using the A indicator, then only we can find out the end point of the solution. So by changing the color from one to another. So here in the conductometric titration, so by using the conductance values of the solution. So based on that, we can easily find out the what is the end point of the solutions. Now here, the conductance of the solution, it is majorly depending upon the these two conditions. So first one is the number and the charge on the free ions. The number and the charge on the free ions. And next one, the conductometric titration, it is depending upon the mobility of the ions. The conductance of the solution is majorly depending upon the these majorly depending upon these two. So first one is the number and the charge on the free ions, and the next one is the mobility of the ions. See here, so this is the total setup of the conductometric titrations. So this is instrumentations which is used in the conductometric titrations. Now here, the first one, see here. So this is a conductometric which give the conductance value of the solutions. And the second one, see here. So this is the conductivity cells. So it has two platinum electrodes placed at a unit distance apart, and it responds rapidly to the changes in the concentration of the analytes. So that is a specialty of this conductometric cell. So that conductometric cell, it is connected to the conductometer. And third one here, this one. So this is the burette, microburette. So in this burette, we are taking the titrant is taken in the burette. And fourth one, so that is a beaker or a container for the solution. And next one, so that is the stirrer. So that is used to mix well when you add the burette solution to the solution which is present in the beaker. So this is the total setup which is used in the conductometric titrations. So here, the conductometric titrations are majorly used for the acid-base titrations. Acid-base titrations are neutral titrations. So these are the majorly four types. First one is strong acid, strong base conductometric titrations. And next one, strong acid versus a weak base. And third one, weak acid versus strong base. And fourth one, weak acid versus weak bases. So these are the a major example for the every acid base titrations. So here, let's see one by one. So the first one is strong acid versus, so here strong acid versus strong base. So in this titration, so that is a strong acid versus a strong base. So when you're coming to the instrumentation, see it. So in the burette, so generally we are taking the base solution, and in the beaker, so here it is a acid. Acid is present in the beaker, and the the beaker we are taking the base solutions. So while adding the base solution drop-wise to the acid which is present in the beaker, then it will shows the conductance values. So based on that, we can easily find out what is the neutralization points of these two solutions. So in the strong acid versus the strong base, the best example for is HCl. The best example, it is HCl versus NaOH. HCl versus NaOH. HCl is a strong acid and NaOH is a strong base. The HCl, it is present in the beaker. NaOH, it is taken in the burette. Now, first of all, so before starting the titrations, the HCl is only present in the beaker. So that is why due to it is a strong electrolyte, it will show the high electricity because the ionization power of HCl is more. So the highly moving cation is present in the HCl. So that is HCl dissociated into H plus Cl minus. So due to presence of highly moving H plus ion, it will show the high conductance. So if you plot a graph between the conductance versus volume of alkali added, which is present in the burette. See here, if you observe the graph, see this one. So this is the graph. If you plot a graph between the conductance versus volume of the alkane, which is present in the burette. So here, at first, what happened? Here, initially, there is a no NaOH added to the HCl. So that is why it will show the high conductance value. So because of presence of this H plus ion. So when you add the NaOH solution to the HCl, which is present in the burette, then what happens? Then the conductance values are gradually decreases. See, if you observe the graph, there is a gradually decreases of the conductance values. So this is because of when you add the NaOH solution to the HCl, then what happens? The highly moving H plus ions are replaced with the Na plus, replaced with the Na plus. See this one. That means when you add the HCl here, what is the reaction here? So in this case, see this one. So this is the reaction. HCl, it is dissociated into H plus plus here, HCl minus. When you add the NaOH solution, NaOH is also it is a strong electrolyte, so that is why it is dissociated into Na plus plus OH minus. Now here, while adding the NaOH solution to the HCl, what happened? The Na plus here, the Na plus coming to the place of the in the place of the H plus ions, and it is converted as a NaCl. The H plus ions are react with the OH minus ions, and it converts as a HCl. See this one. So this neutralization reactions takes place when you add the NaOH to the HCl. So that is why there is a gradually decreasing in the conductance here. If you observe the graph, the gradually decreasing in the conductance values is observed. So this decreases, it is called down up to it reaches the when it reaches the neutralization point. That means all the H plus ions here, all the H plus ions which are present in the HCl solution, so that are replaced with the Na plus, that are replaced with the Na plus. So here at the after reaching the here, at this point, then what happened? All the H plus ions are replaced with the Na plus ions. So this is a neutralization points. So after neutralization points, so there is a no amount of HCl. That means all the HCl it is converts either it's NaCl plus H2O. So after completion of this neutralization point, if you add the NaOH to that solution, so because of absence of H plus ions, only NaOH is present in the beaker. So that is why after end point it reaches, again there is a increasing in the conductance value. See this one. So this increasing, it is due to the high mobility of the OH minus ions. The OH minus ions which are present in the strong base. So the increasing in the conductance values, it is due to the OH minus. OH minus which are present on the which are present in the NaOH solutions. So if you plot a graph between the conductance and NaOH value of the NaOH, so you can easily find out the this is the end point. This is the end point of the this strong acid versus strong base. So this point, it is known as neutralization points. After reaching the neutralization point, what happened? There is a decrease, increasing in the conductance values. So this increasing in the conductance values. So this is due to what? Due to presence of OH minus ions. OH minus ions of the NaOH solution. So next one, the second titration, so that is weak acid versus strong base. Weak acid versus strong base. The best example for the this weak acid versus strong base, so that is acetic acid versus NaOH, CH3COOH versus NaOH. So let's see. If you plot a graph between the conductance versus volume of the NaOH, then so first of all, see here, if you observe the graph, initially there is a the low conductance values is present. So this is due to weak electrolytes. Here, what is the weak electrolyte? So that is acetic acid. Acetic acid, it is a weak electrolyte because the dissociation, degree of dissociation is very, very low. So that means CH3COOH, it is dissociate into CH3COOH minus plus H plus. So the dissociation of the acetic acid is very, very low. So that is why initially it will show the low conductance value. So after adding the NaOH solution to the acetic acid, here there is a gradually increasing in the conductance value. So the gradually increasing in the conductance value. So this is due to the formation of the sodium acetate. Here, when you add the CH3COOH to the NaOH, when you add the NaOH to the CH3 acetic acid, so it gives the CH3COONA here. When you add the NaOH solution to the acetic acid, it will give the sodium acetate. The sodium acetate is one of the strong electrolyte. It is a strong electrolyte. The nature of the acetic acid is sodium acetate it is a strong electrolyte. So because of it is a strong electrolyte, the degree of dissociation, it is a very, very high. That means CH3COONaOH, it easily converts to CH3CO minus plus Na plus. So by adding the NaOH solution to the CH3COOH, it can form a strong electrolyte. So due to formation of strong electrolyte, automatically there is a increasing in the conductance values here. This increasing in conductance value, it is due to the formation of, it is the responsible for what? It is the responsible for the formation of CH3COOH. CH3C, sorry, COO, Na, CH3COOH, sodium acetate. So after reaching here, after reaching the end point, there is a no talking about the CH3COOH acetic acid. So all the acetic acid, it is converts into sodium acetate. At the end point, all the acetic acid, it is converted into CH3COONe. So after completion of neutralization point, if you add further NaOH to the CH3COOH, because of absence of CH3COOH in the beaker, there is a no reaction takes place in between these two. So that is why only if you add the base furtherly to the CH3COOH, only NaOH is present. So NaOH, it is a strong electrolyte. So because of presence of OH minus, there will be a gradually increasing in the conductance values. See here, the graph is gradually increases. So this is due to presence of OH minus ions of the NaOH solutions. So this is about weak acid versus strong base. So next one is strong acid. Okay. Strong acid versus weak base. Strong acid versus weak base. The best example for the strong acid versus weak base, so that is HCl versus NH4OH, that is ammonium hydroxide. So if you plot a graph between the conductance and the volume of the base which is present in the burette. Here, if you observe the graph, see this one. Initially, it will show the high conductance value because of there is a presence of a strong electrolyte, so that is HCl, the presence of H plus ions. H plus ions of the HCl. Due to presence of H plus ions of the HCl, first of all, it will show the high conductance value. So while adding the a weak base, so that is ammonium hydroxide to the HCl, then what happened? All the highly moving H plus ions are replaced by the low mobility of the ammonium ions. So that is why there is a gradually decreasing in the conductance values here. There is a gradually decreasing in the conductance value because if you add the ammonium hydroxide to the HCl, automatically the H plus ions are replaced by the low momentum of ammonium ions, and it will give the this one, ammonium chloride and all the H plus ions reaction with the OH minus ion, and it converts as a H2O. So due to decreasing in the number of H plus ions, so there is a automatically decreasing in the conductancy values. So after reaching the end point means this falling, it is up to takes place, all the H plus ions converts into H2O. See this. After reaching the end point, so there is a no presence of HCl molecules. If you add the further ammonium hydroxide to the solution, there is a no reaction takes place in between the HCl and the ammonium hydroxide because of there is a no presence of HCl. So furtherly, after reaching the end point, there is a no change in the conductance values because ammonium hydroxide is a weak electrolyte. It is a weak electrolyte. The degree of dissociation or it is a very, very low. So due to that, there is a no further increasing or decreasing in the conductance values. So it will show the constant conductance value. So next one, weak acid versus weak base. So here the best example for this weak acid versus weak base, it is acetic acid CH3COOH versus NH4OH. So the best example. Now here, if you observe the graph between the conductance versus the volume of the ammonium hydroxide, so initially there is a low conductance value. So due to weak electrolyte of the acetic acid, so acetic acid it is a weak electrolyte. The dissociation is very low. So that is why initially it will show the low conductance value. So after adding the ammonium hydroxide to the acetic acid, so now acetic acid reacts with the ammonium hydroxide and to form a ammonium ion salt. So due to formation of that ammonium salt, there will be increasing in the conductancy value. If you observe the graph, there is a gradually increasing in the conductancy. So this is due to the formation of the ammonium ion salt. Ammonium ion salts. So because of that, there will be increasing in the conductancy value. So after reaching the end point, all the acetic acid molecules convert as a ammonium ion salts. So furtherly, if you add the ammonium hydroxide to the solution, so because of absence of acetic acid, there is no reaction between the acetic acid and ammonium hydroxide. So due to ammonium hydroxide, due to low dissociation, it is a weak electrolyte. There is no further increasing or decreasing in the conductancy. That means the conductivity it is remains almost constant. So because of the ammonium hydroxide is a weak electrolyte. So this is about weak acid versus weak base. The next one, the extra one, so that is acid mixture versus strong base. Acid mixture means the best example for the acid mixture is HCl and CH3COOH. HCl and CH3COOH, it is a acid mixture. So versus strong base, so that is NaOH. So if you plot a graph between the conductance of this acid mixture versus the strong base, then how it is the graph look like? See, so this is the graph. So while you drawing the based on the values of conductance and the volume of the NaOH. So initially it will show the high conductance value. So due to presence of HCl. HCl it is a we know that very well. We know very well it is a strong electrolyte because it's a strong electrolyte. So that is why it will show the high conductancy value. After you adding the NaOH to the HCl, then what happened? Yes, we know that there is a gradually decreasing in the conductance value. If you add the NaOH to the HCl, there is a formation of NaCl and as well as H2O. That means all the H plus ions in the HCl are replaced with the sodium plus ions. That H plus ion combines with the OH minus ion and it can form H2O. So that is why there is a gradually decreasing in the conductancy. So after neutralizing the HCl, after neutralizing the HCl with the NaOH, so there is a no further HCl solution present in the acid mixture. So after that, which one is present in the acid mixture? So only weak acid, so that is acetic acid is present in the acid mixture. So why HCl is the first reaction with the sodium oxide, sodium hydroxide? So because HCl it is a strong electrolyte, so that is why first initially the HCl involving in the reaction because of it is a weak electrolyte, that is acetic acid is a weak electrolyte, that is why it is initially it will not reaction with the sodium hydroxide. After completion of the reaction between the HCl and NaOH, then only acetic acid will involving in the reaction with the sodium hydroxide, Cl. After completion of first end point with the HCl, after neutralization of the HCl, there is only presence of acetic acid. So because of presence of acetic acid, so it is a weak electrolyte. Initially, it will show the low conductancy. Now see here, while adding the NaOH solution to the acetic acid, so there is a gradually increasing in the conductancy value. So this is due to formation of the ionization compound. So that is CH3COONA, sodium acetate. Due to formation of this sodium acetate, it is a very ionizable compound. So that is why there is a increasing in the conductancy value while adding the NaOH solution to the acetic acid. So after completion of neutralization of the sodium, that means acetic acid. So there is a no further HCl and sodium. Sorry, there is no presence of HCl and acetic acids. So after neutralizing these two HCl and acetic acid, if you add furtherly NaOH to that solution, because of absence of due to absence of the acid mixture, only a base is present, excess base is present. So that is why, and gradually increasing in the conductancy value, it is possible because of this sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is also a strong electrolyte, so that is why furtherly it will gradually increasing in the conductancy value. So this is about the acid mixture versus strong base. So this is the graph. So next one, so that is precipitation reaction. So the best example for the precipitation titration, the silver nitrate versus potassium chloride. And the silver nitrate reaction with the potassium chloride, it will give the silver chloride as a precipitate. So here, since the mobility of the potassium ion, it is nearly the same as that of the silver ion. So due to this, the conductancy will remains same or constant, remains constant, and it will be increasing only after the end point. So this is about precipitation titration. So here some advantages of the conductometric titrations. So what are the advantages of the conductometric titrations? So here, when you use the color solutions, so which cannot be titrated by the ordinary volumetric methods. If you use the ordinary volumetric methods for determining the endpoint of the color solution, so there is a not possible to find out the what is the exactly endpoint of the color solutions. To overcome this one, we can easily find out the endpoint of this type of titrations by using the conductometric titrations. So the method can be employed in the case of the very dilute solutions. It is also very useful to determine the endpoint for the very dilute solutions, and also for the very much useful for the weak acids and the weak bases. So another advantage is for the conductometric titration, it is there is a no special care. It is unnecessary near the end point as it determined for the graphically. So these are the some advantages of the conductometric titrations. So these conductometric titrations are very important for your examination point. So in the conductometric titrations, how many are there? So there are majorly four types. So strong acid versus strong base, strong acid versus weak acid versus strong base, and last one, that is weak acid versus weak base. So remaining two are extra thing. So that is acid mixture versus strong base, and next one is precipitation titration. So these are the conductometric titrations of the various acid versus base. So this is one of the important question for your examination purpose.